groovy.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
From your favorite spooky boys.
Do you think I'm spooky?
The Beast of the Week podcast presents Creature Features.
Summoned from the depths of hell are a couple of real fuckheads. And they're here to tell you all about their lives and just generally bullshit about cryptids and other things they've been thinking about. Welcome to Creature Feature.
Creature Features, a side episode series of the Beast of the Week podcast. Welcome, welcome. I'm John Cannon.
I'm Charley Pettit.
I'm Sam Harris, coming from the tropics.
Tropical Manchester.
And
All right.
boy, is it hot at 30 degrees.
Yeah, we
Oh,
actually
man.
have video of Sam right now, and he is sweating so much.
It appears to be at best balmy. Or at worst.
I'm slimed up, guys. I'm ready to go.
Oh, man. So if you're ready to go, how about you bring us a little topic here, son?
All right, so just wondering how you guys are doing. Any big news in your lives? I feel like this can be a little personal thing. Like, what'd you guys do this week?
I went to the New England Aquarium the other day.
Well, how was that?
Actually, this was neat as shit. So I've always been interested in the new word's octopedes, I think. Like you're supposed to call the plural of octopus octopedes. I don't know. Octopussies.
General cephalopods.
Well, they have an octopus on exhibit there. I think it's a giant Pacific octopus. I don't know. But I've been there a good amount. I love aquariums. So we go to the octopus little exhibit, and usually it's just crammed up on the wall. You just see its asshole and some suction cups. And this thing's floating around, putting on a show. And I watched it it's bright red and kind of smooth looking, even though its head looks like an old ball sack. And it flops down on the sand. And I watched it in under 3 minutes. It camouflages itself into the color of the sand. And it actually, I don't know what it has on its like head and its features, but it turned part of its, I guess you call it the mantle. I know that's what it is on a squid. And it got jagged and rocky like it's a rock. And its tentacles kept swirling around the rocks, but eventually it stood still and it just turned into a fucking rock. And there's a fish in another exhibit staring at it, and it all of a sudden it just starts floating around bright red again. Unreal.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
Like kind of like that. No, what's it called?
Chameleon?
Octopus?
No. I was gonna say it's like a little dance of attack.
Yeah, kind of. Like it was
getting horny for food.
Yeah, because it was its food boner was going nuts because there's fish in the other exhibit staring at it. But I gotta be honest, octopi, whatever they are now, I feel bad eating them. They're too smart.
Yeah, they are really smart.
They're too smart to eat. Squids aren't. Squids are stupid. I don't feel bad with the calamari, but I genuinely
But you feel bad about fucking octopus?
Yeah. They're so fucking smart.
Aren't pigs really smart too, apparently?
Not
Yeah,
as
pigs-
smart as an octopus,
Okay.
though. I read this story.
Have you ever read fucking Charlotte's Web?
Yeah, I'd eat the fuck out of that. I'd eat Wilbur's
The
chops.
web or the pig?
Yeah, we just killed a spider
or
too in here,
Scarlet.
so...
I'd eat all of them. I'd eat Templeton the
Yeah.
rat.
I think that's called like a spider roll.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I read this story about an octopus in an aquarium where, again, this is on like Reddit or something. I don't know if it's real, but I like the story.
It's real.
It's real it's as real as anything else we talk here. The truth is stupid.
Yeah.
So there's like aquarium man, marine biologist, and Aquaman goes down to the exhibit for the octopus, and it feeds it, gives it a whole mess of shrimp, and he goes back to his little desk, and all of a sudden he's sitting at his desk, and a rotten shrimp just lands like someone threw it right in front of him, and he looks over into the doorway. There's an octopus, and it had gotten out of its tank holding this rotten shrimp that had been fed, and threw it at the guy like, "Listen, fucker, I don't eat this," and walked itself back into its tank, sealed its tank, and just went back on with its life.
That sounds about right.
Honestly, I can't eat something that knows better than to eat certain things.
I think that's real. I think I've heard like similar stories, not as like pointed, like with the octopus like having emotions, but like them like doing crazy stuff like that.
Like they break out of their tanks all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like an octopus does have central nervousness.
Yeah, it's just
It's not like clams.
yeah, clams you can eat no problem.
Yeah, fuck clams. They ain't got no feelings. Like, there's nothing... happy as a clam is bullshit.
Fat Mike told me all about why I can eat clams.
Okay, so you're on the same fucking line of
No,
thought.
I remember the
I
No
am.
Effect song.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I've read this thing. I don't mean to interrupt, but I got a good tangent going off of this.
Yeah,
what I did this week.
Tangent it up.
There was this speculative evolution thing, and some people think that the cephalopods will be the next dominant species once humans die out.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they are the most fit to evolve, given their dexterity, their level of intelligence, the fact that they're such effective predators.
And passionate lovers.
According to Japanese art that
That's squids, don't.
I peruse.
Yeah.
It's called hentai and it's art.
Thank you, Stanley, in a deleted scene.
Yes.
Tune in every time we do a creature feature for me and Charley spouting useless office trivia.
It's not useless.
Just with cephalopods, I genuinely believe they could take over. I think that Cthulhu world, it's going to rise.
Actually, you just two-pronged a thing I wanted to talk about today. We can go on that tangent, or we can see how Charlie's doing in his life.
Nope.
Okay. All right, then.
Yeah, let's head down this road.
Not good.
All right, so there's two statues, and one says I can only tell the truth, and the other one says my brother's a fucking shithead. So which one do you want to go down?
Let's go the shithead one.
All right,
Shatid.
I didn't think about this. Let me roll a dice.
My name is Shatid and
I
All right, you critted.
we crit.
So I wanted to talk to you guys. So I'm gonna say a word, and I want the first thing that comes to your mind.
No, you don't.
I want it to pop on through like that good old
Rorschach.
Orville Redenbacher. Okay, we definitely took that different ways.
Rorschach.
So-
Yeah,
Redenbacher.
one was correct. One.
We'll never know
Maybe.
which though.
Kraken.
The Game of Thrones.
Rum.
Wow, you guys both suck. What do you guys think of when you think of the Kraken?
Rum.
Okay,
Game of
but
Thrones.
no, I mean like the fucking animal. Holy shit, we're
Johnny
creature
Depp.
features.
Johnny Depp.
A
Still not a
cephalopod.
creature. That's a human. It exists.
Johnny
we can't
Depp
talk about people.
Once he started playing guitar for Marilyn Manson, he chose to become a creature.
That's true. Do you think we could get him on?
Yeah, Johnny's a listener.
He's
If
kinda-
everyone
told me.
donates to our Patreon page, we will have Johnny Depp on.
Flat out promise.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. Now that we put it out in the
Kickstarter.
universe, it's like the secret. It's gonna happen.
All you gotta do is think of it and never try again. Let's burn some sigils tonight. Get the magic going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's understandable.
I brought in a Ouija
So-
board.
Nice. Don't do that.
Don't do that into that house. That's haunted. So the Kraken. What do you guys think the Kraken is?
A leviathan, an unknown looking sea monster. We like to make it look like an octopus, but I don't think it's an octopus. I think it's kind of like how you call, like, you know, we had leviathan. It's a biblical thing. But as soon as we saw like a big ass whale, we're like, oh, leviathan, and then Mastodon.
Leviathan.
Mastodon
There
put
we
out
go.
a sick album cover with a whale on it, called it Leviathan. And you know what? They got me pumping through the gym every day.
A squid.
You think of a squid? All right. Tell me all about that.
No.
Why do you think it's a squid?
No, just take your leading question and answer it yourself, please.
I'm going with Johnny on this one. That shit ain't this fucking squid. And I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and it says it's a squid on the picture, but it just says it does say cephalopod, which
Giant cuttlefish.
what the fuck even is a cephalopod?
I think it's an offshoot of the mollusk.
No, that's absolutely that's true. It is a part of the Ween discography.
Yes.
A nautilus, squid, or octopus. Yeah, like what makes it a squid?
I think it's because it's known to destroy ships. It's big ol'
Tentacles.
tennis balls, Squidward tennis balls.
Yeah, tennis balls.
They could smash that boy easier.
Has a squid ever destroyed a boat?
No.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it's because of the giant squid, right?
Yeah, that's what I was like with the Leviathan. We looked at whales or sharks with with a Kraken, it's a different thing. It's Kraken ships, you know?
Oh. See, the old Icelandic saga says, "Now I will tell you that there are two sea monsters. One is called the Sea Mist,
The Sea Mist?
and another the Heatherback.
Those both sound like sex moves.
The Heatherback is the largest whale in the world.
Still sounds like a sex thing.
It could be. And it says the hugest monster in the sea, which is, I love the word hugest.
Hugest.
But like, I've never heard of a tale of like a squid actually taking down a ship. And I've seen Clash of the Titans, the sequel to Remember the Titans.
That's true. That was a dramatic thing. Yeah, I'm not exactly an authority on nautical tales, but I feel like in even a mild interest in cryptozoology, you would have heard of a squid taking down a ship.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like if you spend like 10 minutes reading about weird shit, you would find that out pretty fast.
I've seen a giant squid. I went to the Smithsonian. It can't take down shit.
I don't know. What if it flails hard enough?
It doesn't have a big old mouth. It's got its little. I know it's got a beak, but is it gonna take down? I mean, I guess like a fucking dinghy.
I'm not saying it swallows it.
I know it takes it down. I'm saying it. I'm saying
Maybe it's trying to get to the yolk of the ship. Maybe it sees this ship as an egg and it wants to fry it up. All the people in it. You don't look at an egg and say, "I'm gonna eat that thing whole." You might. But, you know,
Yep.
Maybe they have a hard-boiled
Definitely.
ship some days. Yeah, ship hollandaise.
I was gonna say hollandaise. Yeah, that's what squid's looking for.
They like a good Santa Maria fucking Benedict.
What is that? Tell me all about that. What?
Well,
Wait, hold
when
up.
Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 to go slaughter native people.
Oh, it's not a dish.
Oh, no, it's just one of the ships that he sailed across in, and that's the only ship
Oh,
that came to mind
it sounded
right
like
away.
you somehow mixed hollandaise and like ranchero.
Oh, no, what you do is you mix genocide with eggs.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, that's what the smallpox is, so that's fair.
Smallpox is my favorite new Kellogg cereal. Small Pops.
I go with Kix usually because it's for kids.
You know, it says kid tested, mother approved. I think that's a horrible testing system. You're getting approval from people who didn't have anything to do with this.
I mean, that's us.
What?
We're also approving every beast without it having anything to do with us.
I think that these all impact my life daily. When you're an empty husk of a man and all you have is Bigfoot to pull you through, you put that Bigfoot crucifix on your necklace and you pray to him and you say, "Deliver us from the trees, Bigfoot." And Bigfoot yields the same returns as any other god I've prayed to.
You do have to go in the bathroom. You have to be like, oh.
I also am praying to the monster truck. I think I might have messed up. I think I'm praying to the monster truck instead.
Hell yeah!
But you know what?
That's sweet
Gravedigger
too.
really has some occult connotations to it that I'm not ready to welcome into my spiritual life.
That's fair. The monster trucks are scary. Charlie, what do you think about monster
I
trucks?
lost you guys on this.
Charlie.
I've been trying to catch
Charlie!
up. I don't know.
Hey!
You know,
Look at me!
just keep talking. I'll find my way back. Okay, I'm lost.
Look at me. Look at my eyes.
Oh, nice light blue,
We got Sam on
blonde
video.
hair.
We got Sam on video for the first time on this podcast, so we get a good look at this greasy mug.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just sweating it up in the islands.
He's wearing his
and
Havana button-up shirt, looking like Charlie Sheen on that show. He's got the sun
You know
hat
the
on.
show.
He's got the white marks all over his nose from that sweet sun block.
There are topless women walking behind him every few minutes.
Yep.
It looks tropical.
I'm having a wonderful Mai Tai right now.
It was served in a coconut.
He's got
it was served
bodyguards.
in a
Don't worry.
coconut.
guys.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So there goes into the segue. So we got cephalopods.
Cephalopods.
We agreed that those could be leviathans. That's
Oh, of course.
I think you guys, you know, like this is definitely going to be on a later episode. So make sure you tune in cephalopods.
And don't stop tuning.
Don't stop tuning. Don't touch that dial. It's called your iPod. There's no dial.
People even have iPods anymore?
I hope so.
Tori actually uses an iPod for podcasts. Yeah.
I got an iPod Classic right here. I don't know why I asked that.
Yeah, you have an iPod. iPhone. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. But so
You're getting behind yourself.
I can only hope. I could use a massage.
Yeah, a little prostate.
Yeah, that too. So cephalopods. Now
We'll get there.
let's bring it on. Let's bring it on back to the tropics.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
New England. Lovecraft is often depicted as in modern day kind of adaptations as a lot of his horrors being cephalopods.
Right.
Now, I have a big beef with that.
Ooh.
Big beef.
As ribeye?
Like raised. Yeah, you can serve a family for at least 2 days on this beef.
And that rib roast.
It's a big beef, but it's a big family. And I recently watched a trailer for the new Call of Cthulhu game,
forgot
which is
about
actually there's actually 2 coming out.
Market saturated.
With 2.
That's enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is plenty. And in both of them, they kind of do actually, the first one they don't. It's just kind of investigating. But the second one, they do the whole, like, octopus thing.
Right.
And I was wondering if you guys have any opinions on my creaky-ass chair and cephalopods in Lovecraft.
I don't know if Charlie knows Lovecraft well.
I do not know Lovecraft at all. Can you give me a brief overview? And for the viewers who have no idea.
All right, so HP Lovecraft is a Rhode Island man, and his big thing was cosmic horror, which, to summarize it, is that the horror comes from feeling small in the grand scope of the universe.
Well, can I interject?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So another term that people often use with HP Lovecraft, they call it eldritch horror, which is kind of like it's kind of like that gothic imagery, like kind of dark towns and castles, like real old school New England feel. Because he was early 1900s writing. He's from Rhode Island, wrote exclusively in New England for the most part, and it's Lovecraft's really about the feeling he evokes. Like, there's common themes in all of them, but a lot of it, like, you're reading Lovecraft or Lovecraftian horror because of that kind of, it's dread that I'd describe it as.
Interesting.
He can go from the microcosm of a single being unknown to a vast spectrum of unknown. I believe that the tale is called The Cave, where it's really just 2 people in a cave, and one guy's freaking out because he can hear something else. And that's it. He can't see it.
That's it.
And, yeah, I mean, it's actually, I highly recommend checking it out.
If I were to recommend anyone like Charlie and anyone who doesn't know Lovecraft, my favorite primer to him is Shadow over Innsmouth. I think that gets the...
That's
Is
also...
that a novel or a short story?
They're all short stories. He was a
Okay.
short story
Yeah.
writer.
That's easy.
Yeah. So...
He was like the middle ground. He filled the gap between Edgar Allan Poe and Stephen King.
Pretty much. Or Stephen King was just like, I love this.
I mean,
This is
he's a New
good.
England boy too.
Yeah,
Wait.
Rhode Island.
Is he actually...
Well,
is he
Stephen King's
from
Maine.
New
Oh,
England?
yeah, Maine. Yeah, you're right.
And
Yeah, he puts everything up near us.
yeah, well, they both have fictional towns that they set a lot of things in. Where Stephen King has Castle Rock, Maine, and not Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft had Arkham, Massachusetts.
Which is Lowell.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen... At least this is a suspicion. I've seen enough of H.P. Lovecraft's, like what he bases everything off of. Modern day, like Call of Cthulhu is a great tabletop RPG that I love playing. Where Arkham is, you can pretty much just take a map of Lowell and transparent on top of Arkham. So I'm pretty sure the Miskatonic is the massive Basic,
Right.
which I actually live on. So
yeah.
and I think Innsmouth is Provincetown.
But yeah, keep going on Lovecraft.
So A lot of the times, and this might be difficult for you, Charlie, but you might be, you're our control group right now. You don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about anything.
You're the people they got for the O.J. Simpson trial. you somehow fucking don't know anything about this, and that might aid a lot. So, Lovecraft often is depicted with like all these tentacles and all that shit, like cephalopods, Cthulhu's a cuttlefish, all that. But I've got beef. I feel like it is misinterpreted.
Okay.
As octopi, cephalopods, where I feel like the high thing with the old gods, elder gods, and you can even stretch this upon to the Anunnaki, which we have not, I don't think, even brought up yet.
Hey folks, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thetruthisstupid. Audible has over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. I've been using Audible, and I've been listening to Fingerprint of the Gods by Graham Hancock. It's a great book about Earth's lost civilizations, and listening to it just makes it all fly by. For you, the listeners of the Beast of the Week podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. So give them a try. Once again, that's www.audibletrial.com/thetruthisstupid.
That's really all I can say is that these beasts, and although Charlie, you might not, I'd like to see John's take on it and then your opinion. Where Lovecraft is often depicted with cephalopods, but I feel like that's misinterpreted because it is the closest thing that one can view as a being of energy, which I feel like a lot of aliens could be. We have this very centric view on what life can be.
Is it
when talking about
would the right term for anthrocentric, that's the word I'm thinking of. We have a very anthrocentric. Well, yeah, just the idea that it's all humanoid to some degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I actually, this isn't my thought, but it's from an article I read that I really liked about Lovecraft, and it's not. This does touch on the Anunnaki, but it's more about the feeling that Lovecraft brings up because. When you hear in the stories about, the Lovecraftian horrors, specifically Cthulhu, you talk about people who are driven to madness just at the plain sight of these things. Like, you look at Cthulhu in your brain trying to rationalize what you're seeing, you go insane. That's like a big theme of his. But what this person proposed, and this is where it touches on the Anunnaki, is that Cthulhu, Dagon, all these things are fourth dimensional beings. Same way the Anunnaki are. They exist on a different plane than us.
Yeah.
So when we see all these tentacles and things flying, what you're actually seeing is a being moving through space that you're occupying that is fourth dimensional. You are watching it move through. You're seeing its entrails, its intestines, things like that. And so your mind goes, oh, tentacles, like saw a cuttlefish, whatever. And that's all that makes sense, but you're still trying to wrap your head around it. And they compared it to this short story that I really regret not having read yet. It's just a story told from the perspective of a second, like basically a stick figure, a second dimensional creature, having a sphere roll at it. What would that look like to them? And it would be a series of increasing circles and then decreasing as it moves by. But this is a more complex, it's a living being in a higher dimension. And so we're watching it's kind of like the body scans, the MRIs where they have like from the skin through. We're kind of getting that in real time when we're looking at them, and so the quickest thing you can jump to rationalize it, because that's what your brain does, it tries to protect your sanity, it immediately jumps to tentacles.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm trying to bring up, is that these beings are not cephalopods, they're not, tentacles and whatnot, they're something more.
Definitely.
In a sense. And, so as our virgin HP, give me some thoughts about that. Like, if you were the energy itself, like, do you think you'd be able to rationalize it in the same way? Or, I mean, that's a loaded fucking question, but you know what I mean.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around the question. So you guys are saying that HP Lovecraft has all these like cephalopod like beings, and you guys are saying that
Not necessarily they're described that way, but
Yeah.
they're not definitively said.
so you guys are saying that like you think that the people who are describing them are trying to like rationalize like some sort of like different being, and then all they can come to is a cephalopod type looking thing.
Because
Yeah.
they see things that are similar to tentacles, that's the first thing their mind can jump to because it's something familiar.
Yeah, I mean, like,
It's the whitest squids you know.
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that makes sense. I regret not having read any HP Lovecraft. I wish that I could more understand what you guys are.
I think I got a copy of some of his short stories somewhere. If you want to take
Really?
a look, yeah.
I think you have the you don't have the Necronomicon, you have the other one.
I have it. It's not here right now, but I have it somewhere. But also something I want to bring up because HP Lovecraft. I understand why people jump to cephalopods so readily, even though it's not directly described as being definitively cephalopods, because so much of his horror and his creatures are nautical. They exist under the ocean.
Absolutely.
And like in Call of Cthulhu, the first, I think it's the first story that had Cthulhu mentioned in it. You have a mariner and he's going around, he's lost, and he comes across this island, I guess, and it's uncharted and stuff, and the architecture there is just wrong to the human eye. I think they describe it as Cyclopean.
Non-Lucidian.
They call it non-Euclidean.
Yeah, okay, there we go. You have the right.
They call it non-Euclidean, but they also call it Cyclopean, I'm nearly positive.
Yeah, no.
And I think that there's an argument to be made that that's similar to the idea of cephalopods taking over the world after humans, that they are capable of this kind of culture, or maybe at one time were.
Yeah, could it be possible that Lovecraft had his shit together and he was just like, nah, one time I went to the Boston Aquarium that totally didn't exist at the time, and he saw an octopus and he was just like, that guy right there, I got 2 arms, that motherfucker's got 8. Yeah, Squidward reigns.
I mean, maybe he was trying to warn us, but I think, now that I think about it, I like both theories that, as we study cephalopods more, we understand their capabilities. Maybe there's something to thinking of them as cephalopods. Maybe there's something to viewing them like, because they talk about, Cthulhu lays sleeping. That's a big part of it. These things are dormant, waiting to take over. It'll be the end of the world, more or less, at least for humans. Maybe it's the ocean uprising.
Possible.
We got water levels rising. We have ice caps melting. There's actually, this is something that's kind of sad for humanity, but exciting for our podcast, is that people are saying that as the oceans warm up, we're going to see deep sea creatures rising up to go after food, habitat, and all that, because it's just too warm down there. They have to adapt to the change. And I think that's an interesting idea, and it's very possible we're going to see these crazy undiscovered things in the next, I don't know what few years means, but in the future.
Are octopus deep sea?
A lot are.
So there could be like so many more than previously known.
We have no idea
absolutely.
what we might come across.
You have no idea.
Maybe the fucking megalodon's around. I fear that.
Cape Cod is where he'll come.
Yeah. That's the thing. Who knows what we're going to fucking find?
Yeah, which we may touch upon. We may have already touched upon, but, that kind of thing, like a Nessie, Champ, who knows what changing temperatures, because that is such an important part of an ecosystem is temperatures and the different types of like cold-blooded, hot-blooded. It would affect everything big time.
Exactly. And I don't know, just as I think about, because I always thought of Cthulhu as a rationalization of a being we can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of do like the cephalopod argument too. Not just from an aesthetic standpoint, even though that's a sick aesthetic of a horror, like a evil cuttlefish-headed monster, but also because, maybe that is what it is. I don't know if he'd specifically describe them as fourth dimensional beings. I just haven't read Lovecraft in a long time, so I can't be sure.
Yeah, I can't follow you up on that. I just figured it'd be a fun thing to talk about real quick.
No,
So
it's really interesting because
I'm at
Lovecraft,
zero research.
Lovecraft is like such a big like there was one story, The Color from Outer Space, I think it is. And the whole story is that there's like this blight on a farm.
Yep.
And it's caused by this extraterrestrial thing that took root in the ground or a well there.
Mhm.
But a lot of them are a lot like classic B movies where like aliens invade and stuff. Like, do you guys remember that movie Slither?
No.
No,
It
I've
was
never
like-
seen it.
It was like I think it's Slither. It was like a parody B movie type thing where like these eel grub things take over and they'll like inhabit your body and stuff. But it's a similar idea, like just these like kind of like small town invasion type things. Lovecraft really kind of on a handful of his stories took that kind of idea.
And similarly, Lovecraft, I believe, I'm going to paraphrase the shit out of this to the fact that it's almost not even the same thing, but that there's nothing scarier than an abandoned New England house.
True.
And that's coming from the guy that was just like, oh yeah, no, there's outer gods that are going to fucking just wreck you. Completely wreck you, unless you have a cat for some reason.
You should go find some abandoned New England homes then.
Wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, explore them.
Fun fact, I love HP Lovecraft. I love his stories. He was extremely racist.
Oh, really?
He had a
Oh, big time.
he had a cat
Oh,
with a certain name, N-word man.
wow.
And just his story, he was an odd dude. Like a lot of the speculation is that he was heavily on the autism spectrum. He lived with his mother his whole life.
Yep.
Never got any fame as when he was alive.
Yeah.
He wrote into like weird like sci-fi magazines and stuff. And he died a virgin. That's just a fact that people know for some reason.
Wow.
He was a weird looking dude.
So maybe he thought this was all real.
Honestly,
It's possible.
maybe he knew it was real. Maybe
True.
we're
Yeah.
living the lie.
Yeah.
Maybe he's Cthulhu.
No.
I don't think Cthulhu works like that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't think Cthulhu doesn't fuck, loves a cat, and then lives with his mom and dies. I'm just gonna
We
sound.
don't know enough.
It kind of ruins the punch of Cthulhu if he's not great.
Just a fucking neat Cthulhu that not in education or training or whatever.
Neat.
Yeah, NEET. NEET. It stands for not in education, employment, or training. It's just someone who's doing nothing.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a real thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a real thing. I'd love to be it.
Right?
Right? Just being like a stay-at-home dad or some shit. Just being like, yo, I take care of the cats, I give the kids peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and then I play The Witcher.
That's really my dream, is to be a trophy husband.
Same. Although this is gonna be a short trophy, but yeah, same. Be a small little. I mean, maybe third place, but you know, there's a lot of people out there.
I'm okay with being a bronze trophy.
Yeah, I'm okay. Honestly, we love the bronze gods, so maybe silver. I don't know. Either way. So I thought that was something just to all the listeners out there. Just jog your thoughts. You know, kind of think about. You know, there could be beings out there that don't cohere. I remember in the I want to say the 80s or 70s, there was a lot of sci-fi, maybe even earlier, like 50s, sci-fi comics like the beings of Mars. Instead of being carbon-based, they're silicon-based. And
Right.
and you can take that one step further, that's saying, why would they have to be matter-based?
So like energy based.
Yeah, exactly. Like a fourth dimensional being type thing. And I feel like that same line of thought is kind of what gives you the Anunnaki and a lot of other modern day.
I mean, that's my if I were to believe, which I do for fun mostly, but also because I don't know, I think explaining a lot of like alien type things and things like that, I think fourth dimensional beings makes a lot of sense if you're to, I mean, I guess it's still theoretical when you get down to it, the idea of the fourth dimension, but it makes a lot of sense that they're the reason we don't comprehend them well, why it's hard to base them in science, is the fact that they exist in some sort of higher level.
So one thing I wanted to ask you guys, I feel like I'm headlining this too much, so I apologize to listeners out there that are like, I fucking hate this guy.
That's most of them.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. So
and Joey's gone this episode, by the way. He
Fucking
died.
slacker.
yeah, he died. He got sick. What's the last song you guys listened to?
$D by ASAP Rocky, which has a really cool music video if you haven't seen it. So you should go check that out.
I was listening to some 90s grunge today. I was listening to Nearly Lost to You by Screaming Trees.
I was listening to some nice 2003 pop punk.
Oh, yeah?
Dance Dance by Fall Out Boy.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I haven't been listening to that enough lately.
I gotta say, when we went to the cabin, and you were playing Folie à Deux, which is my favorite Fall Out Boy album.
That's the teddy bear one, right?
Yeah, that's the best one. It's the best one. It's the best pop album. So every day going to work, it's one of the songs I listen to. Although sometimes I listen to Through the Fire and Flames on my way to work.
I just got an aside here. I'm going to release the Kraken.
Nice.
Kraken.
That's not rum.
Get it? I know, but I cracked a beer. I released the Kraken.
Speaking of which,
That's
what you guys drinking?
I'm drinking Two Hearted Ale. It's an American IPA from Bell's Brewing. I got it because there's a trout on the can, and that made me feel cool.
Nice.
I'm drinking some Wegmans sparkling water spiked with some Svedka.
Nice.
How about you, Sammy boy?
I think I am enjoying a Pump Up the Mash, and I don't know who's the brewer, so I'm going to Google that real quick. So pardon my keys.
So my girlfriend is really into the show Riverdale.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd like it. Season 3 just started. This kind of gets into what we talk about here.
Oh no, I think I've watched a little bit of that show. Is
Wait,
it
hold
really
up.
cringy?
It's actually not that
It's
bad.
not?
I don't know. I tried to start catch up. I wasn't into season 1. Season 3 though, you don't really need that much backing information going into it. And it's on episode 2 right now. I've seen 2 episodes of it. And the whole story is there's this cult going on in the woods. And it's kind of like a D&D style game that started it, which I love because that's so classic to be it's such classic satanic panic of the 80s to be D&D is leading our kids to the occult. I have a book in here, Trading Our Children's Souls, The Dark Side of Pokemon.
Oh god.
Which it was by a pastor in the 90s who knew way more about Pokemon than I ever knew in order to write this book. But anyway, the whole story, as far as I can see, fucking Jughead and, I don't know, Veronica, I don't fucking know who they are yet. They're walking through the woods. They're investigating a murder. Because apparently that happens all the fucking time in this show.
Damn.
It's dark as shit. And they come across this ritual site with a deer head on a tripod. It looks like a person. And there's these 2 people bound before it. They got these runes carved in their back. And I don't fully understand what happened up until that point, a bunch of shit. And then later, they're going through the woods looking for this person, and they see that tripod thing, and it turns around, and it's alive, and it's this wooden, demon thing with a deer head.
Oh,
which is
shit.
my favorite horror aesthetic is,
Yeah.
cultist things with deer heads. I love it. And it turns into this, the classic trope of, a town with a dark secret, it's called the Gargoyle King, and all the parents know about. They're we have to protect our children from this. And
That sounds kind of cool.
you don't honestly. I haven't caught up. I don't know enough about it, but I was very surprised to be sitting there enjoying it.
That sounds sick. That's kind of like that Algonquin thing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the modern image of the Wendigo.
Like the true Wendigo.
Well, no, the one you see, if you Googled Wendigo right now, you have that antler, the deer-headed skeleton thing.
Yeah, the not the rake, the true Wendigo.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. It had wooden wings, I think. You didn't get a great look at it, but they call it the Gargoyle King.
Wow.
And it kind of has a True Detective vibe in it. They have these little charms that are people made out of sticks that ward off the Gargoyle King, I guess.
Wow.
That sounds kind of cool.
Honestly,
I might start to watch it.
And they got like all these like warring biker gangs of like 17-year-olds and shit. Like I'm very surprised I sat down and watched the show and was like, damn, this is pretty good. But the Gargoyle King, just the imagery of that is my favorite aesthetic in horror. Something about like deer skulls being on like a human thing. It freaks me out, but it also looks so cool. Also, I'm not far enough to vouch for it, but the same night I watched 2 episodes of The Haunting of Hill House.
It's
or
so
whatever.
good.
So good.
It's
some of the
so
best
good.
horror. Some of the best horror I have ever seen.
Like, I've seen some bad reviews, and I can understand what they're going for, but the first couple episodes, up until, like, the very, very end, they're so good. There's so much, like, just great film work, and eventually you start watching the show, and you are looking for every little, like, hallway.
Yes.
And you're not even paying attention to the people. You're just listening, and you're just like, all right, what's in that hallway? What's in that?
It sends you through so many loops because you're watching it, and I'm looking. When I watch horror, I like to analyze it because when I watch horror, like we watch Amityville Horror. Like so many of these movies, especially hauntings, are like kind of projections of shit that's going on with the family. Like Amityville Horror, abusive family. That's just straight up what it is. They admitted that's what it is for the most part. Like it's been debunked as a hoax over and over again. And like The Conjuring 1 and 2 are like everything is about family disruption. Haunting of Hill House dives right the fuck into that.
Yeah.
And because they address it so readily and because they keep doing these flashbacks between past, present, sometimes they warn you about it and sometimes they don't. And so you're just you have no idea what's going to happen yet. Next, you watch enough horror, you kind of get the idea. Once you sit down to a movie, it's like, so this is the motions we're going to go through, especially haunting movies. No, this one, every time I think that the thing's going to happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. No, and towards the end, John, you are in for a treat because Tori and I think we watched that. We pretty much binged it in one weekend because we liked it so much. Like we'd stay up till like 2 a.m. just watching this show in complete darkness with like maybe a candle because
fucking badass. I couldn't do that
because aesthetic. No, but it's so good. It is the fact that they took a horror and spread it across such a long time frame. There's the cheap jump scare, but it comes at you at a point where you're finally like ready to relax.
Yeah.
And I love that so much. There's so many things that they discuss. The only problem I have with it, and this is a spoiler alert, I'm not saying for you, for anyone. The original book that it's based off of, they cut a lot of characters and they added a bunch of characters. It is very male centric, whereas the book was very female centric. So for anybody that wants to get into that, keep that as a note. It is still a fantastic horror, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Blown away. I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm blown away. Like I'm so psyched to sit down and watch some more of it.
And I love the perspective that they do. They give every family member an episode.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, it just kind of becomes like a big mash of all of them.
Crescendo.
Yeah, exactly. To put it in horror words, a cacophony of family.
Cacophony.
Yeah.
Cacophony.
A cacophony, and
that's a Count Chocula pun.
Did you? Oh, okay. Let's jump on that train real quick. Did you know there's 2 other fucking monsters in that lineup that are not on the shelves?
Fruit Brute. Yeah, Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy.
Yeah. I couldn't remember that one. Yeah, those were 70s ones. They're not around anymore.
Yummy Mummy was actually late 80s.
Okay.
And Fruit
that's like a
Brute
Stranger
was
Things
the year after. The originals. Yeah, so there is Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy, which I think in like 2013 when they brought them all back with the new revamp, you could get all of them.
What? I'm so sad I missed that.
I can see him on the back wall. Yeah, there was Fruit Brute, and one thing, Quentin Tarantino, and I know you're not a big fan, John, but that is his cereal of choice, is Fruit Brute.
You know what's funny is Norm Macdonald, my favorite comedian, like almost constantly brings up Count Chocula and something. Like he was on Comedians in Cars with Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And like there's always a bit where they do kind of like a scripted conversation on the phone saying, "Hey, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. I'm gonna pick you up for some coffee." And it's Norm Macdonald, and he's like, "Yeah, I gotta show myself. It's it's me sitting eating Count Chocula by myself."
Nice.
And he's constantly just bringing up, like in one of his, he has a stand up on Netflix, a pretty recent one. I think it's called Hitler's Dog, and
Really?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called Hitler's Dog. And he talks about like how his day is ruled by eating, and it starts with Count Chocula. And I like knowing that Norm's out there pulling for the Count.
You got to pull for the Count. He's the best one.
Oh, so they still make it?
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
it was like
no,
an old cereal.
Yeah,
No,
I've been
dog,
having a decent amount.
That's
this
on the shelves
October.
right now. You can get that now. Although when this comes out, you might not be able to.
I love those cereals. I think they're amazing. For
They
more
are
than
good
the
cereals.
novelty, they're delicious.
I'm not
It's the
big
mi-
into marshmallow and cereal. I'm sorry, Charlie. I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't know.
No, this is a pressing matter. We need to get to the bottom of this. Sam, what is broken inside you?
It's too sweet.
Yeah, I agree with Sam.
I'm the type
don't
of guy
like
that when I sit down for breakfast, I don't reach for the cereal. I reach for like the fucking Quaker's grits.
Okay, see, here's the thing. This is where I agree with you and why I disagree with you. I don't eat breakfast, and when I do, I make like a slice of bacon because I can't eat in the morning. So what I'm talking about when I'm eating Count Chocula, it's like 3 a.m. I've given up.
That's fair.
I've accepted the husk of a man I am. And I'm sitting there staring into the bathroom mirror, just thinking about my own mortality. I need something sweet.
That's
And
very
I'm gonna go to
Lovecraftian.
town. Lovecraft regularly sat there with a fucking bowl of Frankenberry.
Yeah. No. I mean, I get that. At the end of the day, like if I ever brew beer, I usually put in like a pack of Rice Krispies, and there's
Can we
always
make
a
a
little.
Frankenberry beer?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah,
That would be
sounds
dope.
Actually, Frankenberry like sour sounds really fucking good.
Right?
You have to sift out the fucking marshmallow though, because there's
No,
like
that's darn it. When you
fats.
serve it, what you do is you brew it, and then you keep a thing of the marshmallows. You sift those out, and then you drop a few in right when you serve it.
That sounds disgusting.
It's like hot cocoa.
That's
That
gross.
actually no, that sounds good. That sounds actually really
Right?
like I'm or you can dust them and like rim the glass.
That's what's up. Oh
There
my
you
god.
go. Yeah, rim the glass with the
Count
fucking marsh.
Chocula would be real easy for that.
Yes, I mean it's just cocoa, but yeah, no, I will often sit over my computer with like a bowl of Rice Krispies, and I don't fuck with milk,
But
so
then
I'll
you
just
don't get
go
the snap,
straight.
crackle, and pop.
No, heavy cream, just heavy
Heavy
cream.
cream in your.
Yeah, like just a little bit, just to kind of get that like slime that I
To
love.
get that, just a bowl of buttermilk and fucking Lucky Charms. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I'll gremlin that shit.
You're a
So-
fucking abomination if you're eating your cereal with heavy cream.
Yeah,
Coming
no,
up
I
on
am.
next week on Beast of the Week is the gremlin that is Sam Harris eating fucking cereal with heavy cream.
Dude, you don't even know the gremlin shit I do. I'll eat chili with my bare fucking hands, like out of the fridge, not warmed up. I'll be like,
No, that
oh,
one I
I'm
know.
hungry. Chili time. And Toria will yell at me. She'll be like, there's a spoon next to you. I'll be like, I don't want to dirty it. And I just eat chili with my hands, like soup with my hand, because it's kind of congealed. You know, like after it's been in
No,
the fridge for a bit. and
I know. I just find you to be a man of sin now.
I mean, that's fair.
Even Satan won't help you now. Even he has limits.
Yeah, that's why I prayed to Asmodeus or some fucking elder god.
All right. Well, thanks, folks, for listening in to a very undirected, unorganized, and hopefully fun conversation about whatever the fuck's on our weird ass minds.
Yeah.
This has been a creature feature segment of the Beast of the Week podcast. Tune in eventually for us actually talking about things. I'm John Cannon.
I'm Charlie Pettit.
And I'm Samuel Harris.